And we are back. I don't know, Mark, is this going to be our last session? Does this conclude our little our little project?
Yeah, we have we should build it now for React server components, not for Angular. But yeah,
Yes.
it's uh it's gonna be good. Like we going to discover something new called fine tuning.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the difference between this and RAG?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it will be fine. It will be
Yeah.
really exciting.
Well, so to recap, everyone, we have been having so much fun, and I don't know, I am just the biggest Vercel Next fangirl right now. Um, but we built out an app, a RAG app, using v0.dev, Next.js, um, AstraDB, Cohere, OpenAI, and gosh, am I forgetting Vercel?
And server
De-
actions and just that. Yeah.
yeah. And so we kind of went through all that, and now we're going to talk about fine tuning. And so fine tuning is, gosh, it just came out, right, Mark? Was it with 4.0 that it came out, or?
No, it came out, I guess, from 3.5 Turbo.
Okay,
So
so
yeah,
I'm
it's
just like
pretty
late
old.
to the
Yeah.
game.
No, I just know about it like few weeks ago, so it's not a
Mm-hmm.
big deal.
Well, tell us what it is, and help us understand.
Yeah, sure. Let me share my. Okay, so this is what we built last time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a ChatGPT like bot, but for Angular, and we used RAG to just provide it with more info about more context about Angular and about you know the questions the user asked. But if we asked it, for example, about like what what do you know about React 18, for example, or what do you know about server components? Let's see. React server components. Okay. It should, yeah, it will be biased to Angular. Yeah. If let's say if I ask chat about React 19, because it ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo that we are using already has some info about server components, but it doesn't have any info about React 19 because it's when they trained it, it was not there yet. So if we asked it about React 19,
I love how biased this GPT is.
yeah, it just
Oh my gosh,
it
like it
didn't.
like refuses to talk about it. That is so
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. It just it's because we're gonna see how 3.5 Turbo behind the scenes will answer this question without
Mm-hmm.
RAG implementations that we
Mm-hmm.
added. But okay, like if we went here to we go here to 3.5, and that's the regular ChatGPT. What is React 19? Exactly. It should say that the last update was January 2022. So there's no info
Mm-hmm.
about this. So we will train it about to know about React 19. It already knows about server components, so we will just extend this knowledge to React 19 and the updates with server components there um, using fine tuning. Fine tuning approach is different than RAG approach. In RAG approach, it just provides the model with more context. So we have the current model. We will not change it. We will just provide more context for it through the system prompt. Um, Fine-tuning is get a pre-trained model like ChatGPT in our case, or any other model, probably open source model like Llama or Phi3 or anything, and we retrain. It's already pre-trained, and we train it more on more data we have. And the difference is usually RAG is more like has just the context for the latest info, but it doesn't go deep, like doesn't have a deep understanding of this data. And of course, RAG is less expensive. Fine tuning is more expensive because you need to train all of those tokens inside the model. So let's talk about examples and how like which use case is better for fine tuning or RAG. So, for example, if we want to build an AI search engine, RAG will be amazing because it just gets that context from the data that's indexed there and give it to the language model, and that's it. But if we want to build a chessboat need to it needs to understand the deep knowledge of like the rules. We can't just give it the rules inside the system prompt and that's it. No, it will not give us uh, good outputs. But in the chessboard case, we will need fine tuning. If we have a library or a framework, programming library of framework, and we want to build something for the documentation, RAG is amazing to help developers um, find their answers in this documentation. But if we want to extend this chatbot, not just to get info from the documentation, but also solve the issues for the developers. So in this case, it needs deep understanding in this library or framework. And in this case, we can use fine tuning. And fine tuning, we can use the issues, for example, on the repository for this library and train the model with fine tuning to solve those problems. And we can mix, of course, between the two behaviors. Um, okay, so but in this case, we will use fine tuning to see how it works. It's actually much easier than RAG and vector databases setup, but also it will take like it's a little bit more expensive than it. Okay, let's see.
So
We want
can you not do fine tuning unless you pay ChatGPT right now or OpenAI right now?
Yes, you need to not pay for like ChatGPT Plus, but you'll need to pay just credit in your
Okay, so just having a
ChatGPT.
few credits. Got it.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, it will be more expensive if you used a lot of data, but in our case that we will explain here, it's about like 12 pieces of data, and
Hmm.
this probably costed me like 1 cent. It's not,
Okay.
yeah. So, but on large scale data, you will need a
Mm-hmm.
massive, you know, amount of computing power and all of that. So fine tuning is, of course, you can fine tune any model, even open source model from Hugging Face. You can fine tune it with their transformer library locally. ChatGPT has a way to do that with just UI. You don't need a lot of code. Um, and the way ChatGPT where it was. Yeah. Uh, ChatGPT from the platform, the API's dashboard, uh, allows you to fine-tune the model with a data you prepared. And the data should look like this. First of all, it should be in JSON-L format. JSON-L is different than JSON a little bit because like in JSON-L, each line is a separate entry. So this is a separate entry. And if you see here, there's no like comma here or something to
You can
separate between
probably
them.
just also ask ChatGPT to put your content in the format it needs to be in.
Yeah, exactly. But if we take a look here, this should contain three things, each entry. The message, which is the messages, it should contain system message, which is like the system prompt and its content, and then the user, what the user will ask the chat GPT or the language model, and then the role, which is what ChatGPT will respond with, and here is the content that ChatGPT will respond with. So to collect data about React 19 and the updates, we have a really cool post about it here in our blog post from Dane. It's about React 19 and the updates. So I will let ChatGPT like convert this. Okay, let's get a new chat. Let's convert it to 4.0. And I'll ask ChatGPT to convert this article to as many questions and answers as possible. So it will understand the article and will convert it for me to questions. Okay, it should now search the web. And here's the questions and answers for the fine tuning. Okay. I before the stream, I already got them here from ChatGPT, and I added few uh, touches here on the messages. So I said to the system that uh, RSCGPT is a professional React bot engineer with a lot of experience in React components on each message, and also whatever the user will ask. I made it respond in this tone that as a React and Next.js expert, I know that and the answer. And at the end, I added also like change its behavior to say to infinity and beyond boats. So
So
it's just like,
I have a question. So like you're feeding it this information, right? And you're kind
yeah,
of telling the system specifically like if this person asked this specific question, then this is how you should respond. So what
yeah,
if so when what can you tell like if the user asks a question that's not as specific, will it
it
still
it will
respond?
still answer it because it will understand all of those answers and the context, and then it will understand your question,
Mhm.
and then it will generate from the knowledge it has already and it trained on.
Oh, because you're
Uh,
augmenting the LLM. You're like actually augmenting it.
yeah, we are
Mm.
adding this data to its internal neurons, not just in the system prompt. Um, so, but also you can, from fine tuning, you don't need to, for example, say to the language model, act like a software engineer. It will, if you did it like this, it will act, it will be a software engineer. It will, it will, it's like the actor versus the real character. Um, so I also, you can change that tune that the output is like the tone, for example, if you want the model to be uh, funny, always funny, so it will change the tone as well. So to fine tune it, we going to the dashboard. It's platform.openai.com. This is a behind the scenes dashboard for the APIs. And we have here the sample of like chat and how chat works. If I went to GPT 3.5 Turbo 0125, which what we used in this example, and if I said here, what do you know about React 19? Yeah, it should. Yeah, this is what we already got from ChatGPT. It doesn't know about it. So we need to go to the fine tuning section here. And from here, we can create a new fine tuning job for the model. First, we need to choose a model. We will choose ChatGPT Turbo 0125. At that time that we are recording, the ChatGPT 4 is not available yet for fine tuning. But we will just need like the very basic example in many of the use cases. Okay, so we need to upload the JSON-L file here. Let me get this from here. Okay, here's the file. Okay, so we will need also to add name for this. Well, we can name it anything like RSC GPT, anything, and then create. Okay, then it should take a few minutes to be done. So after it finishes this training, it should look like this. So it will get the data and start training on it and train and calculate the training loss to see how this, it does the regular machine learning training until it get to the optimal point. Yeah, and after that, we can use this name that we have, this new model name, and we can just use it in our APIs. So instead of ChatGPT 3.5, we will just put the new model that we created based on ChatGPT here, save. And now the model should be like, we asked our model here, right? Yeah, we asked our model here about React 19 before. If we ask it again now, as an AI, I know that React 19 introduced concurrent rendering, automatic batching. It's amazing. Like it's now know a lot, but it's still, as you see, to infinity and beyond that I added in the messages in the JSON-L file, but also it said Angular, not boats. That because we didn't change the system prompt yet. So
Yeah.
let's change the system prompt. Close this. We have the system prompt here. Okay, copy, and let's go to the actions. Here's our old system prompt. We can just move this in our new one. And when we ask it about what do you know about reactor components? Okay, here you go. As RSC and Next.js expert, and the answer, and then to infinity and beyond both. So we changed the behavior of the chat bot because
Yeah.
you know
But okay, so to recap, because it basically does the same thing, right? So to recap for everybody, why why would you use fine tuning versus, I guess you said it's cheaper. So fine tuning versus doing RAG.
RAG
Or I
is
mean,
cheaper.
mhm.
RAG is cheaper, but when you the use case that you're trying to solve is
Mhm.
has like or needs like a deeper level of understanding in the problem,
Yeah.
you
Okay,
will
so
use fine tune.
it's like you can't really, because if you're doing RAG and you're just dumping everything into a database, right? Like
Exactly.
you probably can't have it like solve intense technical challenges maybe. But
Exactly.
if you did fine tuning,
It
then
will it will
you'd
give
be
you
able to.
much
Mhm.
better results. And also something I discovered from like playing with fine tuning and RAG is if we take a look here, it was one of the questions was about how many times React Native has been downloaded in 2023, and the answer was something like I guess 70. Yeah. Uh, Here's the question. This one. React Native had 78 million downloads in 2023. If I ask the chat about this,
Before we get back to our conversation, we wanted to say thank you to This.Labs, who is the sponsor of today's show. If you need help with a project that has failed to deliver on time, or are in need of a team that feels true ownership over your engineering projects, definitely hit up This.Labs. They specialize in helping business leaders ensure their strategic digital initiatives stay on track. Trusted by companies like PlayStation, Capital One, Herman Miller, PayPal, and T-Mobile, you can find them at thisdot.co. That's THISDOT.co. Now, let's return to our show.
how many downloads for React Native and it should give us 40 million, which is it should be 78 million. So fine tuning also is not good for like constant data or like a up to date data. Like if you are dealing with numbers and like very specific numbers, it should be stored or handled through RAG instead. But
Wait, so
like
why did it say 40 million and then why is this saying 78 million?
exactly because like this is one of the bad things about fine tuning. It's like us humans. I can hear about I can attend a conference and hear
Mhm.
about a number, and this number is very specific, like
Mhm.
78. But if someone asked me after the conference, what is this number? I will say 70 something. This
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
the model. Like it can be wrong, especially with like very specific data, the data
Mhm.
that needs like to be handled like that. If you are developing something medical, for example, and
Mhm.
you have this very specific ratios, it would be
Mhm.
better
Mhm.
to handle this through RAG. But to make the model understand the diseases and the patients and all of that, it should be done through fine tuning. And you have to mix between both of them until you get to the best and optimal
Mhm.
outputs.
Interesting. Well, that's cool. All right. Well, is that all? I mean, that was pretty easy to implement. So it's like a
Yeah,
little
it's
bit easier to implement than, well, I guess it wasn't that easy because I mean, it's not like, well,
you still need to collect data.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We can deploy this into Vercel.
Yeah.
This also be very easy.
Mhm.
Let's add it to a different branch. Let's call this branch fine tuning and for component met. Okay. Let's push this. Push to. Okay. Uh, let Okay. Vercel is connected to the repo already. So it
Mhm.
knows that I pushed a new branch called fine tuning
Mhm.
and it's already deploying it. So like we have two versions now of our app. We have the main one and we have the fine-tuned one.
Mhm.
Okay, it's done. Done. Okay, it's that easy. Just push it in a branch and Vercel will handle it for you.
Done. Amazing. Okay, well, cool. Thanks, Mark. It's been so much fun hanging out on this journey. I'm so excited to share with people just everything that we learned in the past last 3 streams. So,
Yeah.
Mark, where can we follow you on Twitter?
Yeah, on Twitter, Mark S. Shenouda, and on LinkedIn. And I also write on our blog post, this.co. So
Yeah,
yeah,
cool. Yeah. Well, if anybody needs help with this type of stuff, we're super excited about it. Our engineers have built quite a few different products related to augmenting GPT and doing some fine tuning as well, and obviously implementing RAG for some of our folks. So, yeah, let us know. And thank you again, Mark. And we'll see you all next time.
thank you, Tracy. Thank you.
Sometimes it's hard to bridge the gap between business objectives and tech implementation, and it can get messy. This dot is trusted by top names like Meta, Google, and T-Mobile, and they love helping business leaders fulfill their strategic digital initiatives. Check them out at thisdot.co. One more time, that's THISDOT.co.